What's up, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to the channel, your #1 spot for all things Pittsburgh Steelers. And today, we've got an absolutely jaw-dropping story to break down. The Steelers just made a move that nobody saw coming, and now they may be setting themselves up for something even bigger. That's right. After the shocking trade of superstar safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Steelers are reportedly lining up for a massive signing, possibly targeting none other than all-pro safety Justin Simmons. But that's just scratching the surface, so grab your terrible towels and buckle in, because we're going deep into what this move means for the Steelers' future, how it reshapes the roster, and why the front office might not be done yet. Let's go. So first, let's talk about the trade that shook Steelers Nation to its core. Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of the cornerstones of Pittsburgh's defense since arriving via trade from Miami back in 2019, is gone. Shipped out. Traded in what many are calling a surprising but strategic move by the Steelers' front office. This wasn't just a cap dump or a locker room fallout. This was calculated. Fitzpatrick was sent to a team that knows him well, and in return the Steelers got some serious firepower back. We're talking about bringing in veteran cornerback Jalen Ramsey, a 3-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champion, and widely regarded as one of the most physical and versatile defensive backs in the league. But that's not all. They also acquired tight end Jonnu Smith, who will immediately step in as a key contributor in Arthur Smith's offense. Now let's be honest, moving on from a player like Minkah Fitzpatrick is never easy. He's been a fan favorite, a locker room leader, and a player who has made splash plays since day one in Pittsburgh. But over the past couple of seasons, his production has slowed down. Interceptions have dried up. Big plays have become fewer and farther between. Whether it's age, scheme fit, or simply that the defense around him wasn't giving him the freedom to roam, something changed, and clearly, the Steelers brass saw it too. Instead of paying upwards of $20 million per year for a declining safety, they flipped him for a star corner and a capable offensive weapon. That's what we call high-level roster management, folks. But now here's where it gets even more interesting. With Minkah off the books and Jalen Ramsey in the fold, Pittsburgh suddenly has a hole at free safety. And let me tell you, there's no way they go into the season with just depth guys covering that spot. You don't trade away Minkah Fitzpatrick, sign Aaron Rodgers, bring in DK Metcalf, and go, hey, we'll just rotate in a couple guys at safety. The Steelers are in win-now mode. They're loading up to chase a Super Bowl, and the safety position is far too important in Mike Tomlin's defensive scheme to leave it unsettled. So naturally, all eyes have turned to one name, Justin Simmons. If you're unfamiliar with Justin Simmons, let me give you a quick recap. He's a veteran safety who has spent the majority of his career with the Denver Broncos. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, known for his elite ball skills, intelligence, and range in coverage. He's the type of player who can take away half the field and quarterback the entire secondary. Sound familiar? That's right. He's basically the closest thing on the market to a Minkah Fitzpatrick replacement, except Simmons brings a slightly different edge to his game. He's more consistent, arguably more durable, and some would say he's even better in deep zone coverage. At 31 years old, he's still playing at a high level, and given the right scheme and supporting cast, he could absolutely flourish in Pittsburgh's defense. Now think about this. Simmons lining up next to guys like Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., and TJ Watt. That's a defensive backfield that no quarterback in the AFC is going to want to face. You add Simmons into the mix, and suddenly the loss of Minkah doesn't feel like a downgrade. It feels like a masterful transition. And the Steelers have the cap space to make it happen. Fitzpatrick's departure freed up significant money over the next 2 seasons, and with Ramsey restructuring his deal to be more team-friendly, Pittsburgh has some room to maneuver. And we know Omar Khan, the man they call con artist, isn't afraid to make aggressive moves when he sees the right opportunity. But Simmons isn't the only potential target out there. If the Steelers decide to go a different route, there are other intriguing free agent safeties available. One name that's popped up in insider circles is Julian Blackmon, formerly of the Colts. He's a little younger than Simmons, with great range and solid instincts. Another possible target? Marcus Williams, who's been plagued by injuries but has flashed elite playmaking ability when healthy. The question is whether the Steelers want to go with a younger, cheaper option who might need some time to develop, or push all their chips in and sign a veteran like Simmons who can anchor the defense right now. And that brings us to another key point. The Steelers are operating like a team that knows their championship window is now. They brought in Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, on what's likely a 2-year run. They traded for DK Metcalf, giving him a true wide receiver 1 and a vertical threat unlike any one Rodgers has had since his prime days with Jordy Nelson. They're retooling the offensive line, adding pieces to the run game, and strengthening the defense to complement what they hope will be a top-tier offense. Everything about this offseason screams urgency. So when you consider that, it's hard to imagine they'd leave the safety position unresolved. Here's what I think is happening. The Steelers made the Minkah move knowing they were going to pursue someone like Simmons. They didn't just make this trade and then look around. They've had this mapped out. They knew Minkah's cap number was going to balloon. They saw a chance to get value for him while also addressing other needs. Getting Ramsey gives them flexibility. Signing Simmons would give them continuity. It's chess, not checkers, and Khan is making all the right moves. Let's also talk about Jonnu Smith for a second. That part of the trade might be flying under the radar for some fans, but it's a sneaky good addition. Smith already knows Arthur Smith's system. He had his best year under him in Tennessee, and he's the kind of tight end who can block, catch, and stretch the field. With Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington already in the room, this move allows the Steelers to run multiple tight end sets, which Rodgers thrives in. Think about the Packers' offenses that leaned on guys like Jermichael Finley and Robert Tonyan. Rodgers loves using tight ends in the red zone, and Jonnu Smith gives him another reliable target. It's just another piece of the puzzle that makes this team more dynamic and dangerous. So where does that leave us now? The Steelers are sitting on a revamped roster filled with veteran leaders, explosive playmakers, and young talent on both sides of the ball. They've got one of the best coaching staffs in the league, a GM who's not afraid to make bold moves, and a fan base that's starving for another Super Bowl. And with Minkah gone, the door is wide open for the Steelers to make one last splash in free agency, one that could complete the puzzle. Justin Simmons is out there, available, and he fits the mold of exactly what the Steelers need at this point in the rebuild. It's not even a rebuild, it's a reload. And Simmons would be the cherry on top? Now look, I'm not saying this deal is done yet. Simmons is going to have options. Other teams will be in play. But if Pittsburgh wants to make it happen, the pieces are already in place. The money works. The scheme fits. The timing is perfect. It would send a message to the rest of the AFC. The Steelers are back, they're not rebuilding, and they're coming for a championship. You don't bring in Rodgers, Metcalf, Ramsey, and then just patch holes. You finish the job. And Simmons could be the final piece. So now it's your turn, Steelers Nation. What do you think about the trade? Are you on board with moving on from Minkah? Or do you think they gave up too much? Do you believe Simmons is the right fit? Or is there someone else you'd rather see in the black and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. Smash that like button if you love the direction the Steelers are going. And don't forget to subscribe because we'll be covering every twist and turn of this wild offseason. From free agency to training camp to week 1, this is going to be one of the most exciting seasons in recent Steelers history. And you won't want to miss a minute. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, let's go Steelers. I'll see you in the next one.